Believe it or not, there used to be this strange consensus that flat earthers should not commit to one particular model. It's only recently that that's switched around to the opposite, where all of the flat earthers are supposed to commit to a single map or single model. I've never committed to a model, but I've provided evidence of a dome, and I've committed to a belief in a dome. And I've tried to avoid the temptation of giving people a model. So this is just speculation about the size of Antarctica and therefore the size of the dome. You can look at things like sunset and the way that light acts in the sky. And you can also look at slideshows of Antarctica and just try to get a sense of how big it is. There's not going to be any proof, and certainly no one's ever going to actually travel all the way across Antarctica if it's all around us. But this is my favorite model. I just find it poetic. I'm not committed to it, but I find that shape of the dome very pleasing, very aesthetic, rather than a very obvious hump. It's just so natural and organic, the way it just curves over in that gradual bow. So I'm about to show you evidence of New Schwabia, which is somewhere in Antarctica. Now, is it somewhere on the left side of that ring, or is it somewhere on the right side of that ring? You know, we could say that Antarctica, the edge of Antarctica forms a ring all the way around us, and we have no idea how big it is. But this is what I started researching in May 2015, is trying to get an idea how big it was, and one of the first things I found was this slideshow, and it really gets the imagination
Of all the
going.
regions in Antarctica, let's just focus on something called New Schwabia. This is a geologic feature called Conrad Mountains. Now, there can't be too much of these actual mountains because Antarctica is just a bunch of ice, right? I mean, that's basically what they tell us with that globe at the bottom just being a white chunk of ice. But in all honesty, there are so many geological features in New Schwabia alone. We have the Almond Ridge, Allen Peak. Look at that, ridge, mountains, ice shelf, peak, mountains, valley, ridge, peak, glacier, peak, mountains, Dahlman, Kruger, mountains, trough, range, peak, upland, cirque, peak, oasis, hill, mountain, range, mountains, peak, mountains, mountain. Furthermore, this isn't all of Antarctica. This is just this tiny little chunk called New Schwabenland, and that is Antarctica. Are you at all prepared for this slideshow that I'm about to show you of Antarctica? Hold on to your britches.
What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions.
Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans. Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans. Repeat after me, I am not free. They're lying to you, they're lying to me. What are they hiding? I'm dying to see. Why is it God that they're trying to be? The acquisition of wealth and power is what they know. They've always been among us, they own us, they run the show. When it comes to making a difference, we ain't moving. Freedom is a fallacy, you're just a free-range human. From the crib to the grave, you live as a slave, and that's just a matter of fact. If you wanna see change, forget all the games, we're gonna just have to attack. This is our world and we're snatching it back. If you don't want it, move off to the side. Not for the cowardly, not for the weak, only the strong come along for the ride. Won't be so simple, I'm not gonna lie, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna try. With everything that they're doing to all of us, maybe tomorrow we're all gonna die. Either way, they kill us slowly, dumb us down and make us dopey. Everything you see is fake and all the news you get is phony. It's time we show the people how the elite are so deceitful. It's time we rise up high up enough to expose this evil. Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans. Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans.
What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions.
ODD TV, truth of vision, the one and only. They hate the fact that I'm nosy, but I say fuck it, blow me. I'm a researcher, a real truth seeker. This is my classroom, fool, I'm a school teacher. Prepare to be blown away, everything you know gets thrown away. Take your mind to a whole nother level, put the pedal to the metal with no delay. How much worse must it get before we do something about it? For we are many, they are few, man, we got them surrounded. It's time we think outside the cage where our brains have been placed. The true history of the world has been changed and erased. It's 1984, these things are so Orwellian. Big brother, motherfucker, super totalitarian. Your thoughts being suggested, your speech being suppressed, always being corrected, freedom being oppressed, always under surveillance, in a state of unrest. And if you protest it, they put your ass under arrest. Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans. Take a look around you, what you see is just illusions. Everything goes in circles, but there's no revolutions. They create the problems, then they offer the solutions. We're nothing but goyim to them, they treat us like subhumans.
What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions. What you see is just illusions.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
A lie is a lie, and it don't matter how many dumb sheeple believe it. And the truth is the truth, hiding right out in plain sight, and still people don't see it. Man, this shit got me heated, and I won't stop till the elite are being defeated. They keep us deceived about everything that we think, and they keep it a secret. What we're taught is not conducive with reality. Big bang, evolution, and there's gravity. I tell the truth and then these motherfuckers laugh at me, telling me the earth is Photoshop because it has to be. Most people accept the deception happily, but what they're doing to us all is a tragedy. God created the heavens and the earth in a verse, but we're living in a
Freemasonic galaxy.
They say we're monkeys on a ball flying through outer space, but there's no proof, it seems to have vanished without a trace. NASA and other agencies falling down from grace. You can take that bullshit pseudoscience and get out my face. I'm the antisocial type, you're a government prototype. That's why you make it a point to tell me that I'm crazy every time you're angry, cause you know I'm right. I'm standing outside the house of cards about to watch it fall. No more living on a cartoon ball. Horizon means horizontal. Indoctrination is awful because you're taught the glow model. Ever since y'all could crawl, we follow rapists and murderers, liars, thieves, and sun worshippers, saying we can't see curvature cause we're all too small. And though it's never been proven, they say we're ripping and shooting. The earth is spinning and moving. Oh no, no, not at all. It's a criminal enterprise where deception intensifies. NASA's got us all living life on a cartoon ball.
It is fresh out, but it has to be. What you're seeing here is a mirage.
They say that we went to the moon 6 times, but pure BS is the way that smelt. Now they're telling us that we can't even leave the planet because of the Van Allen radiation belt. Yeah, okay, sure. NASA, what you lying for? You lying now, you lied before. I can't take this anymore. The only thing they took to space was your imagination. Fake aliens are coming, now they have you waiting. We need to do something about it, no procrastination. Trying to cause the masses to awaken, that's the path I've taken. But you can see if you check all the percentages, so many people having cognitive dissonance. But that's what happens at the loss of your innocence. Then you get involved with all of this wickedness. They try to do all the humans this way. So are they just idiots? Who is to say? Conditioned by the television, it makes your decisions, opinions, and you just obey. Stuck in the material domain of Satan, where everything in each and every day is pagan. Mandela effect, cause the game is changing. People waking up and now the cage is shaking. The earth is flat, and that is a universal fact. If it isn't that, then tell me where the fuck the curve is at. They tell us that we can't see it because we're all too small. And now we're spinning on a cartoon ball. Horizon means horizontal. Indoctrination is awful because you're taught the glow model. Ever since y'all could crawl, we follow rapists and murderers, liars, thieves, and sun worshippers, saying we can't see curvature cause we're all too small. And though it's never been proven, they say we're ripping and shooting. The earth is spinning and moving. Oh no, no, not at all. It's a criminal enterprise where deception intensifies. NASA's got us all living life on a cartoon ball.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison for your mind.
It is fresh out, but it has to be. It is fresh out, but it has to be. It is fresh out, but it has to be. What you're seeing here is a mirage. It is fresh out, but it has to be. It is fresh out, but it has to be. It is fresh out, but it has to be. What you're seeing here is a mirage.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Take a journey with me deep inside the rabbit hole. Wake up, my friends, there's some things that you have to know. Everything you ever thought you knew, it has to go. For instance, NASA is the world's largest magic show. 9/11 was a planned demolition and Sandy Hook was a scam. Come on, man, are you tripping? Constant programming being crammed in your vision. Just take a step back and...
Hey, what's up, family? I decided to publish this video prematurely, but I want to get it out there. I want to get as much stuff as I can get out there while I have the time. Now, today, this video I'm going to be dealing with an issue about an edge. A lot of people can't conceptualize a flat earth, and that kind of makes it difficult for people to really accept or believe. I have this drawing here, that I made. It's my profile pic, but people ask me about seasons, and if you can see this white light here, that would be the sun, and this red line would be its path, the moon and the sun's path, and light isn't infinite. If you can see over here, it's dark, okay? Not the best picture in the world, but I didn't want to spend 10 hours on it, okay? So you guys get the drift. The light, when it's on this side of the planet, it's lit. When it's on the opposite side, it's lit. The other side is dark, okay? So light is not infinite, and like I showed you, when the sun is setting, the light turns, the sky turns reddish, right? Because the light is moving away from you. Okay, that's a whole nother video. All right, now, everything I'm going to talk about at Edge is not something I'm making up or pulling out of my ass. This is based on other people's accounts, okay? Other people's, what they witnessed and what they experienced, okay? So this is based on what they said. Now, We all know about Admiral Byrd. He's a guy who the hollow earth proponents, they kind of push him forward. That's their main guy, right? And the funny thing about Admiral Byrd is that he actually supports a flat earth theory, okay? But that's a whole nother subject. Okay, so we're going to talk about what he wrote in his diary, right? February 1947, I like to see that land beyond the pole, that area beyond the pole is the center of the great unknown, that enchanted continent in the sky, land of everlasting mystery. Okay, so he's right there telling you that the Antarctica is more of a mystery than the moon. Okay, at least we can see the moon. We can't even see Antarctica. Okay, moving forward. All right, Antarctica's flat. Okay, and I'll pull these pictures up on Yahoo, but I want you guys to know Antarctica's completely flat. Okay, you heard in my previous videos there's something called polar flattening. This is part of it. Okay, so you could see this. Forget about the curve, it stays at eye level, so that's interesting too, that it continuously moves backwards. Here's something called polar flattening. You guys could look it up. 1 nautical mile is 1 minute in astronomical latitude. The radius of curvature of the ellipsoid varies with latitude, being the longest at the poles and the shortest at the equator, as is the nautical mile. Okay, so they're saying that because of the bulge at the equator, the poles are basically flat. Okay, it's called polar flattening. I don't feel like going over that. Now, here's the Antarctica Treaty. This is a document, right, straight from the horse's mouth. And here you can read, and I'm not going to read all of this, but they're telling you that all of mankind, the so-called South Pole, Antarctica, humanity is everything's based on that. Our survival is based on what happens at Antarctica, so we have to know what's going on there. Extremely important. As you can see here, year accords with the interests of science and progress of all mankind. Yeah, I'm not going to read all this because it gets pretty lengthy. Okay, I just read the parts that I needed to read, and I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Okay, now here's some photos of Antarctica. There's some mysterious stuff there. We don't even know if these photos are real, but we know there's a lot of shit going on in Antarctica, scientific research that they're not telling us. Okay, and that's very important. Stop it. My cats keep fighting. All right, satellite dome. Okay, so here we go. Diesel bunkers, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole bunch of stuff there, okay? Now, here it is. Look at this. Despite most of the photographs that you see at the place, much of Antarctica is actually very flat and boring. It's just that flat and boring places don't photograph very well. And once you've seen a couple of shots, that's about as much as you need to see. Mountains in Antarctica. Yeah, there's huge mountains in Antarctica. Mountain weather is always dramatic. Always dramatic, and we're going to talk about this in a second. But the clouds and everything, it's fierce. It's fierce at Antarctica, based on what people say, who went closer to the, I guess you would say, the so-called interior. Not really the interior, but went further than normal. They said that the weather was horrible, okay? And they call, isn't this interesting? They call Antarctica the flatlands, flat islands, right? Okay, so there's some flat islands by Antarctica. Isn't that interesting? All right. Antarctica, last year, they said researchers calculate that the ice at western side of the continent was melting faster than expected. This is complete nonsense. Global warming is complete nonsense. What they're trying to do is make you go left when everything's going right. What they're trying to do is divert your attention. Everything's getting colder. Now, let's take a look. Does historic snow mean global cooling? Okay, so now there's been record lows of cold weather. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Like it says right here, it really is. I mean, it was cold as hell, and I live in Florida, okay? I mean, I've lived in New York. I know how cold it is here, but it gets cold pretty down here too. All right, so we move past that. Once again, the relentless stretch of bitterness cold battering northeastern cities, including Boston, with the record snow, has many people wondering if the polar vortex is here. Now, on Monday morning, Boston experienced the coldest temperature since 2004. New York City woke up to the coldest February morning in 28 years. Okay, they're saying that, it could be as cold as damn the North Pole. Okay, so then they calling it polar vortex, and they got this fake ball Earth here, right? Terrible. Okay, now let's look. 120-year-old record low broken in D.C., one of many today and in the past week. So, I mean, it's getting ridiculous. A temperature of 5 degrees was enough to smash a 120-year record for a date, a moment worthy of meteorological reflection. Okay, so here we go again. I mean, is any of this true? We don't know, but I think the sun is losing some of its power. I personally do. I think every day that sun gets a little bit weaker. We can't tell it, we can't notice it, but it is. Okay, so let's go down here. Now, people ask me about the edge. All right, so I created this little drawing here because I love drawing. And what I want people to understand is this is the flat earth that we live on. Right here. These are the stars that, let me pull this over here. These are the stars, right, that rotate above the flat earth, right? The sun, let me get rid of this actually. All right. The sun and the moon rotate above, right? The sun, I think at one point the whole planet was just, well, I shouldn't use the word planet, that's a habit. The whole plane was ice, and then the sun came along and melted a puddle inside of it, and this is what we live on. This is the UN. They keep anybody from going towards the South Pole, and these are the countries that are involved. Okay, so they got it protected. The UN treaty. Okay, all right. So here we go. We got it over here, the moon and everything else. Right now, but what's interesting is Admiral Byrd said that. Oh, before we get to Admiral Byrd, right? Let's look at these. Right, these are little drone planes. This is what I think they're using, trying to go to Antarctica. I mean, getting past out of Antarctica. I think they're using some sort of machines. Okay, because they said there's alien life. Now I don't know if it's alien life. I particularly don't believe it, but anything's possible, okay? I'll leave that door open. But I personally think all that research is to fly planes to look for life on the landscape, because I don't believe we're the only puddle in this whole landscape, okay? And when people ask me, is there an edge? No, there is no edge. It goes on forever, okay? Now, but Admiral Byrd said he went and he found life, okay? Now, this is something I made up for entertainment value, but this little creature, this is me doing my cameo appearance. These little creatures, now this place could have 2 moons, right? And this creature here, what is this guy? All right, this little creature here is watching us, right? Maybe they're trying to reach us. Okay, and here's the sun, okay? And so Admiral Byrd said that when he went past Antarctica, in his diary supposedly, that there was life. There was stuff beyond the poles, beyond the Antarctica that was of interest, of national security. Okay? And so here again, we got this whole thing where, in fact, and they said the weather is very treacherous, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to turn on our weather, right? We're going to put the fog there, right? So as you move away, like soon as you get past the 150-foot ice wall, all you're going to see is this. The weather is horrible. And then as you move closer, things come into view, right? So that's why they can't make it to the other pockets of life. The reason they can't make it is because it's too damn cold. And the weather's too treacherous. It's horrible, okay? So if we go back here, and let's go right here, right? And let's take a look. Let's go to, let's put in Antarctica. Antarctica, right? Let's punch that in. Let's see what comes up, right? And we go expeditions, right? Because, oh, what's going on here? All right. I don't know. My internet server is acting up. Whatever. All right. But if you just go look for yourself, the weather is terrible. If you just look at the photos. So there's no possible way. So, and yes, there's fire under it. You know, there's heat down under it because we live on plains. So we live, you know, it's hot below, then it gets really cold, right? Our sun keeps everything melted. And then you go up to the heavens, plural, heavens, which means cosmos, right? That's why I say we become a star, and I'm gonna talk about that later. But this is the let me go right here. This is a 150-foot ice wall. Actually, they said it's 2 miles up, so 150 foot would be like this edge here, and this is where most people travel, where they visit. They just visiting like a tip of it. They're not actually going to the mountainous area. They're not going up where the real stuff is. Okay, they won't allow you to do that. All right, so, and you know, the planets circle above, so that's how it is. You know, that's all it is. You know, and but it'd be interesting to see what life exists beyond. I mean, it could have 2 moons, 2 suns. You know, anything could be beyond the edge or the so-called Antarctica. But as far as there being literally an edge, there is no edge. Okay, there is no edge. It goes on forever. Okay. Now, why is that so hard to believe? I mean, why is that so hard to believe? Because they say the universe goes on forever. Well, why can't the plane, the infinite plane, go on forever? I mean, they said the creator is awesome. He should be able to do that, or she be able to do that. So, you know, this whole thing about we living on a ball and the universe is this big cosmo thing, and that's just nonsense. That's just nonsense, okay? So the reason why it's heavily guarded is because nobody can actually get there, okay? Nobody can actually really cross Antarctica, supposedly the Antarctica, to find other life. It just ain't going to happen, okay? Actually, if you watch that documentary, In Search of an Edge, that one lady, I mean, she got pretty far, and she claims she found an edge. I don't believe that. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So I'm going to end it on that. Hopefully I'll come back with another video. My next video, I'm going to be talking about why are they lying? Because that's a pretty interesting, that's actually a really fun topic. And I'm going to draw something up. The reason why I do a lot of these drawings, because I just like drawing, you know. I just love it. And I happen to like this program the best because of its simplicity and its, you know, its diversity. So that's why I like
it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video presentation. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and share it on your favorite social media sites. There's a lot more to come, so stay tuned and we'll see you back next time.